The whole crypto market is dipping right now. Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't doing too hot. Everybody is fearful and bearish. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum charts and let's see if the bull market can continue from here. For checking out the channel. Every day we put out a new video about cryptocurrency education, markets, giveaways, and more. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. Now let's go to the moon. Let's start with the sentiment of the market. You can see right here the fear and greed index are at 18. Yesterday was an extreme fear of 15, the lowest we've seen this year, and pretty much all of last year. We had a low of 10 on that large dip where Bitcoin dipped 60%. I believe tomorrow is going to be more fearful than it was today and yesterday, as Bitcoin and Ethereum have been making lows. So let's get right into the technical analysis. I'm still looking at this large pattern on Bitcoin. This can still play out. So as Warren Buffett says, you should be fearful when people are greedy, and be greedy when people are fearful. Like, everybody was trying to buy Bitcoin in the 60s, in the 50s, to continue upwards to $100,000. Now when the sentiment changes and things turn bearish, people forget about the targets, the long-term targets, and then they, end up getting funded out of their bags, and they might sell to emotionally making some bad decisions, selling at the bottom. Like, this is kind of breaking down the weekly 50 EMA, which isn't good, but I use the trend line from the bottom of the low of this wick. This is the next connecting point, and then into the future. I'm seeing an ascending triangle here, which I've been pointing out for the last few weeks. We're playing this out right now, and we're at the bottom. So this is generally a good buying area, as you can see here, how we grinded in that 50 EMA. Breaking down isn't the best, so you could potentially wait until we break back up, or you can use, this trend line as a buying area in the bottom of this wick as a stop loss. Stop losses are very important in this market right now because anything can happen. There's so much fear, especially with what's happening in the world right now. Let's break this down on the daily. You can see that Bitcoin RSI, which I want to point out, is pretty much at the lowest this year. I mean, we just started this year, but the prior time it was this oversold and actually peaked lower was in May, when we had that 60% drop right here. So we're not seeing any other time we were that overly sold. The March COVID crash, of course, and then the big drop here. So we are oversold right now. We're peaking into lower areas. Bitcoin just made another low. Everybody's fearful. You can see extreme fear on the charts. You can see another bearish crossover. So yeah, the charts are painting very bearish price action and signals right now. We aren't able to break out of this downtrend. So like I said, we have a moving average bearish crossover right here. We had one right here as well. Then we saw Bitcoin kind of just come in this accumulation zone and pop. I think we rose very quickly here, and too high too quick. We did about 60% here in almost a straight line, and we got everybody bearish. New Year started, and then, I guess we saw a lot of people taking profits, people offloading crypto, and now Bitcoin's making new lows in January. So what I want to see is it start forming some sort of bottom here, like we did here, and we can see a divergence on the daily. I love to use the 4 and 9 moving average right here, which gave you on the weekly an awesome sell. It gave you a sell at 59K right here. So if you want to wait for the 4 and 9 on the weekly to turn, or on the daily, they're both awesome signals. So you can see right here, we had a quick whipsaw. It was a few percentages in profit. We got rejected here, and we're kind of on this large downtrend. When we kind of make the bottom here and the moving averages flip over, I will take a large long, as we are 30% from the top to the bottom. Actually 40%. So we still have potentially more room to come if we look at different drops. Even in this bull market right here, you saw we dropped about 60% right here. 56% for Bitcoin, I think 60% for Ethereum, and we are from the top here, as I mentioned, 42%. So would it be foreign or crazy for us to drop another 20% from the top here? No, it wouldn't. This is kind of the area that I want us to hold right here on the daily. It's important for us to hold this, in my opinion, because this is a huge area of support and resistance right here. So you can see this is where we broke down from placing an all-time high, moved into the moving averages, was an awesome buy. We came up, retested, broke down here, got rejected, used it as support, and now you can see like this was an awesome area if you bought here first, straight into profits, and now we're back on this area. So I wouldn't want us to see us breaking down from here. It wouldn't be the best in my opinion, because now we're breaking this like upward trend. We're making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and now we are coming back down. We are testing this low right here, this higher low right here. So best case scenario, we're just testing lows. We wiped out a lot of bullish people. It's a shakeout before we move into higher highs. So now we're testing this prior low. I wouldn't want to be breaking below it, or we break this whole market structure that we've built from July last year. So I wouldn't want to see Bitcoin come down, invalidate these lows, and then start getting like rejected here, and then coming down for another low, kind of to test this area right here. And this kind of would be the last area for it to hold 29K. I mean, because this is like huge support here, that 29,000 area, before coming down to the 20,000 previous all-time high in 2017, which I do not think we will break that ever, unless we see some crazy apocalypse or some crazy, world black swan event or something like that. But historically, Bitcoin's never broken previous all-time highs. So I don't think 20K we will see, or hopefully get close to. I think we're seeing a massive shakeout. And the start of the year, the holidays are just finishing up. We should see some large institutions, corporations start, buying some Bitcoin again. You see here, I just want to share some of this news. GameStop is going big in crypto and NFTs. The shift is happening. The gaming industry is being changed by the play-to-earn model. I mean, it's almost inevitable now. Any moment now, I think a huge company will state that they bought Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm just waiting for some bullishness. So Bitcoin has been almost an oversold right now, peaking pretty much an oversold. We haven't been this slow or bearish in months. So if you haven't bought Bitcoin, or if you're wanting to add on, this is the time where you can slowly dollar cost average. Let's look at smaller time frames right here. We'll remove all the drawings, so you can see, on the smaller time frames, like we're clearly on a downtrend on the daily, on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour. At some point, Bitcoin's going to need to find a place to kind of get into this accumulation zone, like right here, where we'll come in a chop. And that's maybe where you can start, building a position. But right now, we can still make a lower leg. It's still very, very possible. And I think if Bitcoin was to do so, it would do something like this, where we would trade up here and then go lower if we did break down. But we can kind of trade into something like this. That would be best case scenario, and then we pop back up while everybody's sold their coins, and then continue to all-time high. So don't FUD out of your positions. I'm going to do a video on altcoins that have, lost 50, 60, 7% from their all-time highs, and that I think will recover quicker, because altcoins recover quicker and then go to break their all-time highs and start moving in price discovery mode. So let's go down into smaller time frames to see if we can see some sort of buying opportunity. Let's go to the weekly. Let's take off these moving averages. I just want to find some strong points where you can put bids. I mean, try to catch the knife if you want. Sometimes I don't recommend it, but we've fallen down so fast, so quickly. I'm going to throw some bids up. So line chart, I think I like this area right here. This one's the low. And I'm just doing weekly, since it's a large time frame, has a ton of, move, confluence on that time frame. So you can see right here, if I put the candle, this definitely, okay, so it didn't. So a great place to potentially have some order would be on this resistance, right? So turn support right here on the $39,000 area. That should be a great place for us to bounce right here. Hopefully we bounce. And if not, then I think we'd be trading somewhere closer to the 32,000 area, trying to test these lows. Maybe not invalidating the lows, but testing somewhere close. So that's for Bitcoin. Also, since we're talking on Bitcoin, let's take a look at the Meyer Bands. This is like the rainbow logarithmic chart, and you can see in 2013 we had 2 pumps to the top. In 2017 we just had like a slow, wouldn't want to say slow because we had a huge blow off top in the last month. Generally, crypto markets start trending down and turn into a bear market Q4, which we've seen somewhat here. And so is it mimicking 2017? Is it mimicking 2013? We will have to wait and see. The on-chain analysis isn't showing that. People I really trust and listen to, like Willy Woo, he doesn't think we're in a bear market right now, but you can see how we're getting into the oversold area. So these are the times to buy. Like, look at every time we've come into oversold. With this visual graph, oversold here, exploded, oversold here, exploded, oversold here, exploded, oversold, exploded, and now we're coming down into massive opportunity where you can pick up your coins for cheap. Why is it? Is it because the world is in a fearful, state right now? Nobody's, sure with what's going to happen with this crazy inflation happening. Everything is so in the air right now. Nobody knows what's happening. Is another lockdown? We're locking down. We locked down yesterday here in Canada. So people are trying to save their assets, their fiat, their crypto, whatever it may be. It is times of uncertainty. So regardless, Bitcoin has been profitable for anybody who has bought and held for years. It has also been profitable for anybody who has bought in this oversold area. It looks like we're kind of slowly peeking into that area, and that is times for awesome opportunity. I want to share the Bitcoin stock to flow model by 100 trillion from Plan B. He's kind of getting laughed at right now because we are deviating away from his stock to flow model. We deviated away right here, but we should be apparently at $100,000 right now, and then we're still on track for like $1 million for 2025. So everybody's kind of ragging on him because it's deviated away to the bottom, but look at how high we deviate to the top. And you can see how high we deviate to the top away from his stock to flow model. So why can't we deviate to the bottom as well? Bitcoin's very volatile, and it does, price action to the extremes on both sides. So I think that maybe if Bitcoin can kind of catch up, this could be like the underdog chart. His stock to flow model is apparently invalidated right now. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's move on to Ethereum, honestly. And that is my BYBIT, not Ethereum, trying to catch the bottom here. A little bit profitable, nothing crazy. So Ethereum, the price action and chart doesn't look as bad, honestly, as Bitcoin. Like, this is still bullish on the higher time frames. You can see right here, this is a huge support about the $2,000 mark. We are still holding an up structure. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. As same thing here, we're about to start testing this higher low right here. I wouldn't want to see us to invalidate this low right here. And this is an awesome support place to buy as well. If Ethereum does drop into this area right here, this would be an awesome area. It would be like the moving average on the weekly. It would be this huge support, which was resistance turned into support. You have that change of polarity, which usually you get a nice bounce of. And if it bounced from here, you wouldn't be invalidating this higher low. So if we use the fib from there to there, from A to B, we can see right now it's sitting on the 78.6, and usually, like, if we can get a reversal from here, I wouldn't be like foreign to see this. This would be my immediate 5,500, and then like the ultimate, I love, like, crypto loves the 127, so 7,714. That's an awesome number. 7 times 2 is 14. I love that number. That is my target. So you can see like Ethereum is still holding this uptrend. I mean, it's still not the best. You can see if I do it from this wick to here and all the way here. So this is an important spot for Ethereum to kind of bounce off here on the weekly. Let's take a look on the daily as well, breaking down the 200 EMA. So this is usually an awesome place to buy, and I'll show you guys some history of that. So you can see when we broke up here, and we've been in an uptrend for so long, all of 2021. You can see when we broke up here, we didn't have an opportunity to buy on the 200 EMA when it bounced, but after a long time of upwards action, we got a bounce on the 200 EMA here. We came back, bounced here. So this was an awesome area of accumulation. When we bounced from here back to all-time highs, that was a 150% move. So if you buy in fearful areas and you hold them when the market sentiment changes and everybody is bullish, you will be rewarded, 90% of market participants lose, and it's because they get emotional, they get fudded out of their positions, they don't have a plan coming into the market. They just buy, they just sell. They don't really think when and where and how. They don't use any technical analysis. So you can see here how this dipped into the moving average on the 200-day, and that was an awesome buying opportunity. Now we're seeing something similar here as well. I would be I've already added on my position. As you've seen on BYBIT, I have like a small long currently, so I'll be watching this, and if this continues to break down, I'll cut it short and I'll reposition somewhere down here, and I'm hoping we don't come down as low as $2,000. So same thing with the 4 and 9. You can see on the weekly that gave us a pretty solid sell. I'm gonna share with you guys right here. So the 4 and 9 gave us a pretty solid sell at $4,000. Pretty much the huge resistance we're seeing here. So 4 and 9 gave us just above $4,000, and then on the daily it's giving us a sell. The first sell, we got a lot of whipsaws in and out, but the most recent one was about $4,000 still. So we had like an ascending wedge here, some sort, and it kind of breaking down here. So you can kind of wait till it finds some support, the 4 and 9 crosses over, and then you shoot an order instead of just blindly, trying to catch the knife or something like that, or just placing low orders for it to fall into there. So yeah, Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't looking the best. If we look on the daily as well, I want to point out the RSI. So we pointed out the RSI on Bitcoin, but not Ethereum. So you can see here, this is the lowest it has been since 2020. It hasn't been oversold. Ethereum hasn't been oversold since March 2020. Let's take a look. And that was COVID, the COVID crash right here. Ethereum, RSI hasn't been oversold since then. I'm seeing very bearish signals all the way to $2,000. I think there's a ton of stable coins on the side right now, but I don't think $2,000 is possible. Anything's possible in the market, but when you have so much people waiting down here and a bunch of orders stacked, it usually doesn't hit. It'll continue upwards, people FOMO in, and then it drops, they sell, they lose, and then it continues upward. So be patient, make a plan, find some strong areas to buy. Use larger time frames to look for some awesome areas that potentially just bounce off, like here. Just bounce off and give you that instant profit. You can't get better than a trade that just kind of wicks you in and then you're in instant profit 5, 10, 15, 20%, as that was like a weekly, huge weekly area that just needed to be tested or unlock liquidity there or whatever it may be. So stay level-headed. Don't get fudded out. I'm going to be looking for altcoins on Binance, KuCoin, even on DEX tools like the DeFi coins, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and looking for coins that have came down 50, 60, 70%. So if you have any coins that are solid and not just complete shit coins, because those coins have been slammed. So if you have any solid coins that you think will move back to its all-time high or quicker than Bitcoin and Ethereum, some solid L1s, or some solid gaming tokens, whatever it may be, post them below. I'm going to make a video of some tokens to look out for during this dip. If you have any questions, also throw them in the comments. Don't get flooded out of your position. Ethereum and Bitcoin always does this. They get mega bearish. The charts look super ugly, and then out of nowhere, it just pumps up, and everybody who got flooded out of their position and sold ends up buying back higher, or just never ends up buying. So hope you guys got some value from this video. Don't panic. It's hard sometimes when you're seeing all your prices in your portfolio fall down. Go for a walk. Go out for lunch, whatever it may be. Just don't stare at the computer. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.